Architectural Builder Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
3-inch thick door, and you want to get a lock for it.
Well, I bought all the locks for this house on a project I'm on, and I'm a little bit got mud in the face right now because I put all the easy ones on first. Now I'm doing a 3-inch door, and the problem is the deadbolt. I bought the kit for the deadbolt, and that worked fine. That's easy to extend, and they sold me a kit for the handle set, but it only goes to 2.5 inch, and I can't figure out how to get parts for it to go for a 3-inch door.
What lock do you have?
This is a Greenwich handle set. Schlage.
Oh, it's a grip. Yeah, there's nothing that Schlage has for a door that's thicker than probably 2 1/4, maybe, like you said, marginally longer than that. So there's going to be nothing to do what you want to do from Schlage in that series. The only way to really do that is to go with a mortise lock platform, and then you would add trim to it, whether it be a grip assembly or levers or knobs or something like that, because all of the parts can be made or can be supplied based on the door thickness, longer cylinders, longer lip on the strikes, etc. I imagine your door's already prepped?
No, that's the good thing is I didn't drill anything. Yeah.
Okay. So that would be really the only upgrade path. Nothing tubular is what that F-Series grip is called. It's a tubular style. There's nothing for that. Now, what you could do is order a cylindrical lock that will do the door thickness with knobs or levers, but it won't have any function of a decorative pull on the outside. And if that being the design or type of look that you're going after, you would abandon Schlage altogether and go with someone else like Baldwin. You could get any design that they have and the parts necessary for the door thickness to do it.
Oh, on a handle set?
Yeah.
Oh, really? So Baldwin sells all that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can. Absolutely. Yeah, unusual door thicknesses is common for someone like Baldwin.
Really? And they got it in black finish, do you know?
Well, it can be ordered if it's not something that's stock. But in the world of Baldwin, there's countless options, in terms of trim design. Yeah.
One question for you. You seem pretty knowledgeable on that website and YouTube videos there. It's been a long time since I did these type of door handles. And this has the spindle is 2-piece, so they work independently. So when you turn the thumb latch, it doesn't do the lever and vice versa, right?
Most definitely you'll have independent operation from either side of the door.
Yeah. So my question is, could I have a machinist just take a piece of key stock and mill it down to the same, whatever it is, 1/4 by 5/16 or a little bigger, and make that longer and get that to work in this case just to simplify things?
Well, I think that modifying what you have is as obvious as it is when you look at it. What parts need to be longer. You'll obviously need longer screws. And modifying, I don't know that it's 5/16 by 5/16, but if you can somehow modify that spindle in there to do what you need to do, I would very much encourage you to dive in. I have put round pegs in square holes many times.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
You're right. He'll mic it and get the right dimension. But the only question I have for you is, I don't recall seeing these independent operations. So if I just put a complete square, solid square spindle through there, when you turn the thumb, it's going to turn the lever and vice versa. But I don't see how that's a big problem.
It's not at all. And it's simple and straightforward. If you're going to add on to that, I don't know what the base material of that item is. So you may not want to try to weld to it.
Right.
But yeah, there's, those locks are put together and they're put together with pieces. So if you can kind of modify what's there, I very much encourage you to attempt that.
Yeah.
You basically, you know what you have to do to fix the problem. You're just going to buy a lock that's meant to do it. So in that sense, you have nothing to lose. And I would really like to know how it turns out. Take before and after pictures as well, because you know why? I'll put it on the site, and someone in a year from now is going to say, damn, that guy did it. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
I almost went to the length of tracing the shape of these plates where these things touch the wood and then router it out a lousy 1/4 inch and sucking them in because it's a big, thick mahogany door. But that would really look like shit if you messed it up.
Well, So what you're talking about is basically taking a router and trimming, creating a mortise in the face of the door, the shape of the escutcheon at the top, the pad at the bottom, and many, many times I have recommended to clients to do that because they've built a 2.5-inch thick door. Their lock will only go to 1 7/8. I'm like, listen, just router yourself 3/8 deep, whatever it is, the circumference, the diameter of the rows, voila. Now, the problem with what you and I just said is the distance, the clearance from the underside of the handle to the face of the door has now just gotten smaller.
Yeah.
So that could be an issue, and it might be something you let up to your client to decide because the work you'll put into modifying the parts is going to be a couple $100 for sure, easily. If I was going to do that, I would charge you $200, and that's if it was going to take me an hour and a half at the most.
Yep.
So you got cost there. And I would, if you feel that's low-hanging fruit, do that before you modify the door because you have really, really, really owned the door at that point. In 20 years, when your client needs a new lock, they need a new door as well.
I know. It sucks. Well, that's what I'll do. I'm gonna get the machinist to make one of these solid spindles the right length. I see no reason you need to have that little clip on the end to hold it because if you put it all in there and it's tight to both sides with a little bit of play, it won't ever fall out. It's got a little keeper on both ends, so to speak. And the only thing is going to be is keeping the back set from rotating because that thing's no longer going to be on that carriage, and I got to get creative with that.
Well, what you could do is not install the latch bolt centered in the 3-inch thickness. You can bias it. Now, what would be the only problem with that? So you suck it in. You keep it 7/8 from the lock, from the secured side of the door to the center line of the prep. So don't put the latch in the center of the thickness. You are going to need an extended lip strike, but I can sell that to you like French fries at a hot dog stand. That's easy.
When you say extended lip strike, what does that mean?
So in your mind's eye, you're standing on the outside. The door's closed. It's locked up. That latch bolt is going to be it's not going to be centered in the thickness of the door. You're going to mortise it as if the door was 1 3/4. And then you're going to have to figure out a way to keep it. Well, it won't move because you'll have it mortised. And then in your mind's eye, the latch is going to be deeper into the door, deeper into the rabbet, because you've got like a 3 5/16 rabbet, I would imagine. You're going to need a lip longer so that when the door goes to close, that latch bolt doesn't strike your jamb, your casing, then your rabbet. So that's how you would solve that. That's a $15 item, that strike plate at the most.
I never even thought about that. Do you have them on your website anywhere so I can see what you're talking about?
Yeah, let's take a look. See if I can pull something up real easily. Just want to give you a part number. Let's take a look.
All right.
Okay.
Get back to this website here.
Okay, so what I'd like for you to do, if you would, in that search box, type in.
Bring that back up here a second.
Take your time.
How do you spell that again? ABS?
It's just absupply.net.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I hit it wrong. Okay, I'm there.
All right, so in that search box, top center, type in the number 9104 and just hit enter.
All right.
So the fourth item down is an example of an extended lip strike. Please click on that 9104-605 and let me know when the next page loads.
9104-605. Yep.
On the right side, it should say add to cart. Below that, the map of the United States. Below that, click product catalog.
Yep.
Go to page 2I, which is the fourth page of the document.
1I. 2I, got it.
Yeah. So you're going to be looking at like maybe an EL dash.
I see. Yeah.
An EL dash 103 maybe. You're going to do something like that. That extended lip's going to solve that problem.
Okay, so that'll put the back set more towards the exterior of the home, so it's by the carriage on the handle set.
It's in the chassis, so it doesn't
Yeah.
I don't think you'll have too much of a problem, but your idea of keeping it put, I think is a great idea. And frankly, I would probably do that because those latch bolts, they're just residential in nature. You know, you want it to last several decades if possible. So I would give it a fighting chance. Plus, very common in the commercial world, we've got companies who build, you know, we just did Rolex in Boston, and they had all these weird doors where the locks were not centered because they took an 1 3/4 door and thick door, and then they added 1 inch of fabric panel on the outside. It's a Rolex store. It's going to look swanky.
Yeah.
And we can't mortise to that 1 inch fabric panel, obviously, so they're all biased on that 1 3/4 thickness. And you got longer spindles, longer screws, longer cylinders. In your sense,
it's actually going to really help because I, with this big thick door, when I hung it myself with mahogany jambs, custom made, and I beveled those jambs a little bit so that the door would have the correct reveal, and then it would be tighter back there. So the reveal was kind of tight, so I had to install them a little bit more cocked. So now if I get that back set more towards the stop, it's going to have more meat of the back set in that strike. That's an excellent solution here.
Yeah, you get thick doors and you get vertical axis of pivoting situations with wide throw hinges. I tossed that into AutoCAD myself just to know exactly what I'm dealing with.
I did that, and I tell you, that's exactly, because I Googled the stuff, and everyone said, oh, on small doors, it's a big deal. On large diameter doors, it doesn't come into play. Anything over 3 feet, you don't have to worry about it. And I said, I'm going to pitch it a little bit. I pitched it, and then I had to actually tweak it a little bit more, take the frame out, undo the screws, tweak it, re-screw it, and put the biscuits in at that point on top with a jam head at the side. But one other question, is that available in a black? Those
it can be special ordered. Yeah, I can order it in black. So depending on what lip length you want, they can powder coat it in black. It's going to be a couple of weeks for that black finish. You can enter an order for something temporary or just put a lot of masking tape on there to not damage it in the interim and install the standard strike until then.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. Good idea. Man, you've been a great help. Let me get this whole thing built up and make sure it works, and then I'll get one of these. I haven't seen these. This is a great tool. Appreciate your help, and I will send you some before and after pictures.
Before and after, please do, because you know I've got a certain type of car, and I'm trying to get a bike rack on the back, and I'm searching online looking for ways to do it, and I haven't found anything. But many times I've done stuff in my life. There's been one guy 12 years ago who looked at doing this, and this is what he came up with. So you're gonna if you do that, you're gonna pay it forward. There's gonna be some guy in a spot like you. We'll do it.
I have used YouTube for 15 years in business, just Googling, and there's always some cat out there that figures out some way to do something difficult and then takes the time to post it. Now that I'm retired, I told my wife, I says, I got to do a couple of these as payback because it has helped me so much in business and at home. So it's much like yours. I seen your video on it. I said, man, this guy knows what he's doing. So I appreciate your help, and I will, I'll start cataloging this and get back to you.
Thank you, sir.
What was your name?
My name is Richard. Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.